Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Hi, good evening. My name is Kevin Forty. I'm the Director of Athletics here at Minot State University. I want to welcome you to the 2022 induction of the Beaver Hall of Fame. Tonight we recognize 4 individuals and 1 team for their hard work and dedication to Minot State University. These people all have outstanding achievements, and that's why we are honored to be honoring them this evening, our newest class of Beaver Hall of Famers. Being inducted to the Hall of Fame is the highest honor an athletic department can bestow. There are very few individuals who compete in college athletics can say that they earned their way into their college Hall of Fame. It's a great accomplishment and one that was well deserved. So at this time, I'd like to ask if there's any current Minot State University Hall of Fame members in attendance tonight to please stand up and be recognized. Thank you. Tonight, the people we are honoring have all had great careers. I'm excited to hear their memories of their time on campus and with their coaches and teammates. It is these bonds that stand the test of time. It's fun to watch these individuals interact with their teammates. The memories are so strong that most of the time, even if they haven't seen someone for years, when they get together, it's like they've never been apart. That's what makes homecoming so special. I'm honored to be here tonight and excited to hear the stories of this evening. That being said, I'm pleased to introduce our MC for the evening, Dr. Christy Berg. Dr. Berg is our faculty athletic representative and teaches in the College of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Christy Berg.
Thank you, Kevin, for that introduction. I'm honored to be your MC for the 2022 Hall of Fame, the Athletics Hall of Fame banquet. What a privilege to be among those we are honoring this evening. Thank you to your friends and family for choosing to be here in support of you as well. The exceptional contributions each of you have made for MSU Athletics is amazing. Your recognition, well deserved, and your continued support of Minot State greatly appreciated. I'm humbled also to recognize the family and friends of my dear friend Dean Frantsvog. Dean is greatly missed, especially during this week of homecoming activities. Dean's pride for all things MSU, especially athletics, was contagious. As a natural athlete, I'm certain he is probably a bit annoyed with us this evening, as this award honors his support for athletics and not his athletic ability. In all seriousness, I know this award means a great deal to Dean. His support for students outmatched his desire to be a champion athlete. As we prepare for the meal this evening, we give thanks to homesteaders. Dean and his crew are fantastic supporters of Minot State, and we are grateful they could provide the meal for us. Please allow me to lead us into this meal with a prayer. Lord God, giver of all good gifts, we are grateful as we pause before this meal for all the blessings of life that you give to us. Daily we are fed with good things, nourished by friendship and care, feasted with forgiveness and understanding. And so, mindful of your continuous care, we pause to be grateful for the blessings of this evening, to celebrate those present, and to honor those who are no longer with us, but in your loving care. We ask this in Jesus' holy name, amen. We'll continue with the awards ceremony following the meal. Please enjoy your meal and fellowship. Thank you for coming. Okay, we're ready to begin with new batteries. Thanks for your patience. I hope you enjoyed the meal. At this time, I'd like to welcome Dr. Steve Shirley, President of Minot State, up to the stage.
Thank you, Christy. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Homecoming Week at Minot State University. and in particular, welcome to our Athletic Hall of Fame. Homecoming is obviously an incredibly special week on the calendar for us here at Minot State, and this event in particular is one of those annual traditions that is so special. It's our opportunity in some small way to recognize and to thank and to celebrate outstanding achievement. And so thank you to our recipients and our awardees tonight for giving us this opportunity to thank you for everything that you've done. Homecoming is about a celebration of people. It's about relationships. It's about legacies. It's about tradition. And as you think of all of those things, that's what athletics is all about. That's the common bond that athletics has. And as you go back to the earliest days of Minot State University, now we'll be coming up here next year in our 110th birthday. Athletics is into the very fabric and the very foundation of Minot State from its earliest days. And it has been interwoven throughout the history of this university for over a century. And so it plays an incredibly important part of our campus experience. It always has. It continues today. We've got over 425 student athletes on campus. And so to each of you tonight being recognized, congratulations on your achievements. Thank you for being wonderful representatives of our great university. Thank you for everything that you did during your time at MSU. And thank you as well for the things that you've continued to do in your days since. But thank you all for being here tonight. And as Kevin said, I too look forward to hearing a few more stories and learning a little bit more about each of you. So thanks much. Thank you.
It's time now to honor our recipients. So I'm going to ask that each recipient come forward up here, and I will share a bit of information about the recipient and then present you with the award. So our first recipient is Whitney Stanley Aberle. Come on up, Whitney. Whitney is originally from Sherwood. She is the first female golfer to earn a place in the MSU Athletics Hall of Fame. She was a 3-time All-Dakota Athletic Conference performer for MSU, being named the DAC's most valuable player and earned the conference's MVP award 3 times. She helped the Beavers capture its first ever DAC women's golf title in 2010, helping MSU qualify for the NAIA Women's Golf National Championship for the first time in school's history, where she finished 99th overall. She was MSU's team captain for all 4 years, winning 90% of the tournaments she entered during her collegiate career. She also coached the MSU women's team for 5 seasons from 2010 to 2015. Join me in congratulating Whitney.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Can you hear me in the back? How about now? Good? Good now. Wow, what a great honor it is. I just want to congrats everyone else, that's getting this award tonight. This is a huge accomplishment. When I was writing this speech at about 2:30 today, yes, I waited till 2:30 today, a lot of things are going through my mind, mainly how am I going to talk about myself for 15 minutes? How is it possible to thank everybody that's ever helped me? And are the Bears really that bad last night? It is crazy how a small town girl who would hit a golf ball from a telephone pole to a telephone pole could wind up here. I started playing the game of golf because of my grandpa and dad at a very young age, and only continued to play because of my older brother, Billy. There are not many sports where you can play one-on-one with your brother and have the bragging rights if you win. When I got the call to come play for Minot State, it was an easy decision due to the fact that my brother was already on the team. I did get the opportunity to potentially go and play basketball, but if I could go and beat my brother at a tournament, that's what I was going to do. I was a girl golfer who was using woods, a left-handed putter, would 3-putt most of the time, and didn't know what the word quiet was on the golf course. I have to give Chipper Farrell props for taming this red-headed beast and getting me to the player I needed to be. I saw a quote from Arnold Palmer saying that golf was a selfish game, but I'd have to disagree. I looked back at the start of my senior year, and my goal was to get to the national tournament. Not for myself, but for my coach Farrell. I wanted him to be able to coach me in a national tournament. I left him short in my junior year and wasn't going to let that happen again. Now, when we made it to the national tournament, did he think he would be watching one of his golfers taking her shoes off to walk in the middle of a creek to see if one of her competitors' golf balls was right in the middle? Probably not. After graduating, I got the opportunity to coach a group of amazing girls. It was only then did I realize how much time and heart you had to put into coaching. These girls weren't just members of the team, they became part of my family. I hope that when people look at that plaque on the Hall of Fame, that they don't see my name, but they see the sport. I want a young girl to see women's golf and this to become her dream like it was mine. Now, there are a lot of people I want to thank for, that's helped me get here. First, I want to thank my grandpa Bill. Thank you for giving me your golf clubs. I couldn't have done it without those, literally. To my mother, thanks for letting my dad go to the men's night only with us kids. To my father, thank you for showing me that the game of golf doesn't always have to be so serious. To my brother Billy, thanks for always dragging me along, whether it was your choice or not. To my younger brothers, thanks for showing me that no shot is impossible. To my husband, thanks for letting me tell people I'm better than you, even though you know I'm not, and for being with me every step of the way. To my Uncle Wayne, thanks for showing me how to hit an 80-yard slice. That came in handy. Chipper Farrell, thanks for everything you have done for this program. Because of you, it would not be possible. I want to thank all my teammates that I had throughout the years, all the girls I coached, Betty Lewis for always being the women's golf #1 fan, for the Junior Golf Association, all the golf courses, and last of all, Minot State. Thank you.
Our next recipient is Jen Dixon. Jen, if you want to join me on stage. You have a super fan in the audience, Jen. Jen is from Brandon, Manitoba, and was a two-sport standout in softball and volleyball for the Beavers from 2010 to 2014. In softball, she was named the 2013 Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference Player of the Year. She was named a Capital One Academic All-American, a Daktronics All-American, and the Central Region Player of the Year in 2013. Dixon was a two-time first-team member of the All-Central Region team and the All-NSIC team. Dixon helped MSU to the national tournament at the NAIA level in 2011 and the NCAA Division II national tournament in 2013. She finished her softball career as MSU's all-time leader in home runs, 39, and runs batted in, 165, and had a career batting average of .372. In volleyball, Dixon led MSU in kills each of the 4 years she played and was named the All-NSIC twice, NSIC Academic All-American twice, and to the All-DAC team once. I present to you Jen Dixon.
Thank you so much, everyone. This means so much. When Coach Bill Triplett first called me to share the news about getting inducted, there were so many thoughts, emotions, memories that went through my mind. To start, unfortunately, Coach Triplett couldn't be here, but he really is truly one of the main people to thank for all of this, as he was the first person who noticed me and recruited me to Minot State. So it was very fitting that he was the one to call me and let me inform me of this news for sure. He was not only a huge impact on my athletic career, but also on my experience at Minot State. Another piece about this that this indicates is that it's been 7 years since I last put on a Beaver jersey. With so much time passing, it literally does feel like yesterday. One thing I always appreciate about Minot State is how welcoming it was to come here. With so many years passing now, to a lot of familiar faces being out here and also so many new faces, that welcoming feeling still remains, jetting all the way back to my first time touring the Dome. Even though 7 years has gone by, my time here at Minot State, representing the school in both volleyball and softball, was truly an experience that I hold with me now, and I know that I'll hold with me forever. When I first finished my conversation with Coach Triplett, I started thinking about how I was going to have to write this speech, and to be quite honest, when I finally began, I stared at my paper and thought, where do you start? How do you begin? Who do you thank? What can I say in just a few minutes that will truly capture one of the biggest times of my life, one of the greatest moments and experiences of my life? What I thought would go through my head were the championships won, the heartbreaker losses, the kills, the home runs. Of course, those were all there, but what truly went through my mind were the amount of people that really impacted me throughout the entire process. I always knew so many people impacted me, but I can honestly say that the list is incredible. And it's amazing to think that that is just what a piece of what sport does and what an incredible piece that is. So first off, I would like to congratulate my fellow inductees, Whitney, Travis, and the members of the 1986 Gymnastics Team, as well as Dean. It truly is an honor getting to share this induction with each of you. I would also like to thank the Hall of Fame organization for recognizing the hard work and dedication that we all put into our athletics, but also know that we recognize the commitment that you all put into this process and into this evening and weekend. The great thing about athletics, whether it be softball, golf, volleyball, football, whatever it is, the great thing truly is its history, and to be able to say that my name will be alongside so many great athletes that are here tonight and that have represented Minot State in the past, the fact that my name will be up there with all of you is so rewarding. Looking back on graduation day, a few people had quoted, "Next time we see each other will be when Jen is inducted into the Hall of Fame." I remember always just kind of laughing that off and responding, "We'll see what happens." It's hard to believe that that day is here and that the last time I really did see a lot of those people was 7 years ago. One thing I've learned is how quickly time passes and how quickly things change, and I'm so thankful under the circumstances of the past few years that we're all able to be here together tonight. Without all of you here, and some unfortunately who couldn't be here, I wouldn't be standing here today. As far back as I can remember, I was competing. I still hate to lose. I began my path on athletics so young, competing in such a wide range of sport. Truly tried taking advantage of every sport that I possibly could until I more or less had to decide which ones I truly loved and wanted to proceed with. Volleyball and softball were my two favorites, and I'm beyond grateful that Minot State offered me the opportunity to play both. I can't tell you how many times someone would come up to me and ask me, "Do you feel like you would have been stronger if you would have just focused on one sport?" And to be honest, I don't have the answer to that question. All I can really say is that I'm so thankful that I was given the unique experience of never having an off season, always training, always competing in two very different sports, having to switch my mindset, my focus to gear up for each season, and never really truly taking a break. Being a multi-sport athlete is all I've ever known, so I feel so fortunate that I was able to continue that at an elite level. I had a blast transitioning from one to the next. To me, as I'm sure a lot of you out here and to many others, we understand that sport is more than a game. During my career, I wanted to make my coach proud, my family proud, my teammates proud, my school proud. Statistics played a role, but one of the greatest compliments I believed I ever received was when people would come up to me and tell me that they enjoyed watching me play, and that through all my competitiveness, I was still able to stay humble, and that was truly my goal. If I was going to be the player with the strong statistics, I first and foremost wanted to be the player that people thought highly of. Respectful, team player, coachable, positive character. Sport is one of the greatest things that an individual can be a part of because it teaches all of us these characteristics, plus so many more. Athletics has 100% shaped me into the person that I am today. So how did I get here? How did I get to the day of receiving this recognition? The answer is family. Everything that I've accomplished is a direct reflection of my family. Throughout my experiences in athletics, the amount of people that truly became family is what makes my playing days so special. Mom, the countless hours you spent driving me around, being present for so many ups and downs, and supporting me through everything, thank you. To my sister Megan, thank you for always giving me someone to compete with, even when it maybe did get a little ugly. And also for rooting for me as a teammate, but also from afar. Life throws many obstacles at us. Everything about the game is hard. It truly does teach us so many things about the game and beyond the game. When I received the news about my recognition, the first person that I wanted to tell and the person that I thought of was my dad. Unfortunately, for those of you that don't know, my dad very sadly passed roughly a year after my graduation from MSU. For those of you here that did know him, know that if I was playing, he wasn't very far away at all. My dad was my lifelong coach and always wanted me to succeed, and personally, I really wanted to succeed for him. From such a young age, he began coaching me and never truly stopped, even if it was from the sidelines during games. He, without a doubt, would have loved to be here and get to reminisce with all of you again. He thought so highly of this school and everyone involved. To both my parents, thank you for your support, time spent all over the place, and allowing me to immerse my life into what I loved, which was athletics. Also, never-ending thanks for forgiving me for any windows I may have broken and the amount of shins that I probably bruised in the back lane, and making you chase a lot of balls while I practiced, because I know there were a ton. This journey of mine started and ended with family. Thank you so much to all of you. I love you. Sport is such an environment where extended family becomes a reality. So to my coaches here at Minot State, some who I'm lucky to have here who I haven't seen in so long, and some who unfortunately couldn't make it, Bill Triplett, Travis Ward, Fred Mueller, and Jeff Nelson. It was an honor getting to play for each of you. You made me a better athlete in person, on and off the field, each and every day. You made my experience here so wonderful. You created an environment that made me love the game that much more, a culture that I never wanted to be without. Thank you for always pushing me, as well as all of my teammates, to the edge of comfort, which made us so much better as individuals and as a team, which in turn made us succeed. To my teammates, which I'm very lucky to have a few of you here from both sports, thank you for giving me your best, for pushing yourselves, which in turn pushed me. What an awesome feeling it is to be able to look at someone and know that they're committed to the exact same process and the exact same end goal, and know that they are going to give everything just like you are. It's such a great feeling, and I also really love that because I love to win. You know, at that point in our lives, we thought we had been through a lot, but to see all of you succeeding in so many different ways now is so, so wonderful. I still remember my last moment as a Beaver. When I was in my junior year, I broke my foot, so at that time, I thought it was the end of the world that I broke my foot and had to redshirt a season. But after the blow kind of sunk in, I started to realize, hey, what a great opportunity to stay here longer and to get to ultimately play the sport that I loved one more time. So I had to redshirt, and I missed a season of volleyball. So my last time as a Beaver was when I was in my final game at MSU wearing the Beaver jersey playing volleyball. I was standing in the back row in position 6, and my teammate served the ball. The amount of feelings that I was going through during that match were insane. I can't even describe to you what I was feeling. From point number 1, all I could think about was, I'm one step closer to the end, another step closer to the end. So when that last point finally came, we were in a really close 5th set match. My teammate served the ball over the net, saw that it was an overpass, and our middle, Tara Dapovich, got up and she killed the ball. And before she even had killed the ball, I knew it was over, and I fell to the ground on my knees in the back row and started bawling because my time as a Beaver was over, and ultimately my time as an athlete was over. So the feelings were really, truly indescribable. It was something else to see that version of myself come to the end. I'm without a doubt going to miss this version of me, the girl who played softball and volleyball, but I am looking forward to the next chapter. I've had so many coaches, teachers, professors, and educators throughout the entire process and here at MSU that have led me to the career path I've chosen, teaching and coaching. No two experiences are the same, but I hope to instill the same feeling that the love of sport has given me into someone else. I look forward to everything the Beavers are going to accomplish in the future, and I'm so happy that I was once a part of it. So thank you, everyone. Go Beavers! Okay.
All right, congratulations again to Jen. You have a really great cheering section out there, Jen. All right, our next recipient is Travis Hanson. Come on up here, Travis. Travis, originally from Casper, Wyoming, now lives in El Segundo, California. He was a track and field standout. During his stellar career on the track, Hansen was named All-American at the NAIA level 4 times, twice each during the indoor and outdoor seasons. In 2003, Hansen was the NAIA national champion in the indoor triple jump. He also finished with a top 5 in the triple jump in the outdoor season in 2003. Finishing 3rd. In 2002, he was a member of the indoor distance medley relay that took runner-up honors and was 3rd in the triple jump at the 2001 NAIA Outdoor Championships. Along with his track accomplishment, Hansen also served as the MSU Association president. Congratulations, Travis.
All right, thank you guys so much. Can you hear me okay? All right. First off, congratulations to all the other inductees. This is an honor to be up here. I'm a little bit nervous. I don't do much public speaking these days, and it's been 18 years since I've been in college, and I usually speak in short sentences to producers over the PLs when I'm talking to them during the NFL games and college football games at Fox Sports now. It's an honor to be up here, and I'm really excited. And congratulations, Whitney and Jen. Whitney, like if I could get a golf lesson, that'd be great. I'm not very good at golf, but I'd love to do that. And Jen, if you're ever out in California, you want to play some softball. I still play softball in a competitive men's league, but I think you could play. We have some women that fill in at times, and they're better than a lot of the guys we play with. And I play beach volleyball, which now is like one of my favorite things to do. Like that. If you haven't played much beach volleyball, come out to California and play some beach volleyball. Doubles is the best game. Like that's such a competitive workout, and it's so much fun. Congratulations to Dean and the 86 gymnastics team as well. When I started thinking about what I wanted to say when I came up here, I think about every time going into the MSU Dome and looking at the wall when the Hall of Fame plaques were right there in the front, and I would think about all the people that I knew and the names that I knew. Like you'd see Dale Brown up there, the legendary LSU coach, Coach Shaquille O'Neal, and then there was Randy Hedberg, I think the only player to be drafted in the NFL. Went to school with my parents, and I think about Rick Hedberg, who was the athletic director, and I think about Chad McNally, who was one of our football coaches at the time, and Derek's here, one of my former teammates. Chad, to this day, will claim that I had the most receiving yards from a scout receiver, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I definitely ran a lot of streak routes against the first team defense. Jerry Jones never. Not the NFL Jerry Jones. We had a Jerry Jones player. He didn't like when I would run those streaks over and over and over against him. He was a great athlete too, you know. But the one the plaque that really stood out the most to me was the 77 track and field team, which my father was a part of, who's here, and it's an honor to join all of you, and Derek now has been inducted since. And so I wanted to just say, my father, I've always been really proud of you, and it's an honor to join you there. And I always watched or looked at that and shot for that, and it always was a dream of mine to be up there, and now it's come to fruition. So I'm really thankful for that. And let me pull up some notes here that I kind of put together. Like, Whitney and Jen, you guys were amazing up here. Now I feel so unprepared. I feel like that's that might be how Neil would tell you how I was as a student as well. Like, I'm not so sure if it wasn't for athletics, I don't know if I would have gone to college and made the career that I have. But I think about how these guys talked about sports and how it was always such a huge thing for me in my life and my brothers growing up, and
and breaking every single picture on the wall and cleaning up the glass before Mom got home. So we didn't get in trouble for that. And then months later, she would find the painting on the wall without any glass and be like, "Boys, what's going on?" It's like so upset with us. And I'm sure Derek knows that went on with he and his brother as well. And thinking about sports, and living the dream is that I am working for Fox Sports, being in the same studio as Terry Bradshaw and Howie Long, who've been on that show since the early 90s when we started watching all the Cowboys game. My dad grew up a Cowboys fan growing up in South Dakota, not liking the Vikings. Sorry, I know there's probably this Vikings country here. I worked for the Vikings, so I have a lot of love for the Vikes as well. But we were diehard Cowboys fans, and all those games were on TV, and that's why my dad liked them. They were always on. Tex Schramm, the old GM, put them on TV, and just made them a national brand. And then in the 90s, it was the Cowboys and Aikman and Emmett and Irvin and all those guys, and then also the Packers and Brett Favre. So they were always on Fox, and it was a dream to work in that world. And now sharing that same studio every Sunday, which I have to fly out tomorrow, get back. I'm skipping my first day of college football in 6 years on a Saturday to be here. It's such an honor to be. I couldn't miss this. I think about those days and how I've been so fortunate to be able to have met so many of my childhood idols and having conversations with Deion Sanders, who was my favorite player, and going on a KFC chicken run just to be able to sit down and share a meal with Deion and meet all those players. And some you think about like, wow, this is an honor to meet. Others you're like, wow, this is a person, and they are the same as they were on the field. Not so friendly, not so easy to get along with, but it's still like I'm living a dream, and I think about it every day, and am thankful for that. And I think about how everything played out, and I couldn't have done it without my parents, who always set an example for me to strive for the best and be the best regardless of the circumstances. Going through hardships, and everyone goes through things, and it's about but staying positive and keeping a good attitude about things, and always believing in yourself. And I couldn't have done that without my mom and dad setting that example and instilling that in me, and being a good person and treat others how you want to be treated, and always keep a good attitude and make people want to be around you. And maybe I didn't have that when I first came to Minot State. I know some guys maybe got rubbed the wrong way because I came in kind of with an attitude, thinking I was better than others, and I apologize to those who felt that way. But looking back, when I went to the first meet and qualified for nationals on my first jump, and then ran the fastest split in the 4x4, I think I kind of set my place on the team, and they kind of realized like what kind of talent I had. I have to thank my older brother who taught me selflessness and always do things for others and drop things to help others, and he's no longer with us, and so he taught me that live life fearlessly. Every day is precious, and to always take every day as you never know when it's going to be your last. And I couldn't be up here today without having those feelings and learning from him on that. And then I thank my younger brother, who all the days when our older brother was gone and we played in the backyard and playing baseball and going in the driveway and playing basketball, and I mentioned breaking every picture in the house, playing basketball in the living room. He was just a tenacious little guy. Like, he was 4 years younger than me, but always fought hard to play his best, and it always made me push to the next level, because you can't lose your little brother. Like, that's you just can't have that. So I thank him, and I thank my family from Grenora. Maybe you guys know the little farm town, the Mullers, where the family farm is, for for being my family away from home and being able to go to the farm and get away and them coming to town and taking me to Walmart and filling up a grocery cart full of snacks and food so I could be the envy of the dorm for the next few days and finish all the chicken and a biscuit with easy cheese on them, you know, because the healthiest things we ate as athletes. I have to thank my wife who's here tonight, Caitlin, the love of my life. I couldn't be here without you. I thought I was a pretty good guy when we met, but you've made me into a great man, and you made me a father, which is one of the hardest and most thankless jobs, yet most rewarding jobs I've ever had, least pay. And I got to go back to thanking my parents for everything they did for me after being a parent. Now they're 4 and 2, and it would have been difficult to have a quick turnaround trip that we have, getting up this morning at 2:50 a.m. and flying in and not getting any sleep. And thank you for making me a father and making me such a great man. And thank you for signing off on this whole trip and leaving them at home. You know, it's like I think about, you know, getting up at 2:50 and flying 1,700 miles. Like, maybe next time we just, you know, planned a little better to go out, have a date night out and just stay in California. But I delivered that much better in my head when I originally thought of it. I guess I'll just have to fire my comedy writers back in L.A., so we'll get them on the horn soon. I have to thank Coach Zittelman. Dave Zittelman was the coach who recruited me, and he was such a great coach. I wish I could have worked with him for 4 years. He was such a great influence, and wish he could have been here today. I thank him. Like I said, I don't know if I would have gone on to college without coming to be in athletics, if I didn't get a chance to run track and play football. Thank Coach Simmons, Scott Simmons, who also is not at Minot State anymore, but he really let me just kind of be myself. He was focused mostly on the cross country team, who they've been here, accepted numerous awards for their accolades on the cross country field, and so many of our teammates have been inducted into the Hall of Fame. I have to thank Jeremy Schroeder, who was one of my teammates in the triple jump, who really showed me how to work hard and train hard and be a collegiate athlete. I can't thank him enough. Hopefully he'll be up here someday too. He's a 3-time All-American. Unbelievable guy. I would thank my teammates, and I was looking back and saw so many of our members of that team during the early 2000s, you know, inducted into this Hall of Fame, and so many All-Americans. Like, we had a really great run, and surrounding us with so much talent. Like, Coach Simmons and Coach Zittelman did a really great job, and really we just pushed each other to be better. I think, you know, all the professors, you know, Eric Scharr, who, when I was the student body president here, I thank him for always, you know, letting me come in and talk with him and discuss different things and building relationships and teaching me what it would take to build a career in sports and in you know, a high level, cutthroat business that it is. And I thank Neil for showing me, Neil Roberts here tonight, for showing me the same and giving me the confidence to pursue and bug the heck out of the PR director of the Vikings for 8 months while I was still in school doing my super senior year victory lap. It takes a village, like, to raise a family, but it also takes a village to be a great athlete and be a great person. Lastly, I guess I'll just say, I don't know if this tradition died after we left, but maybe Rick can answer this. Will there be a hot tub at the game this weekend? I don't know if anyone remembers that. You remember that? I don't know how Mike Offerdahl pulled that off, but we had a hot tub 2 years in a row in the east end zone behind the I don't know how that went with the players on the team, like what they thought of us. But I didn't bring my swimsuit. My wife didn't bring hers, so I'm not going in there if there's a hot tub tomorrow. Thank you for listening to me to ramble up here, and I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Got it, Neil? Okay. Oh, sorry, Neil. I was ready to pose for a picture. All right, the next recipients are the 1986 Gymnastics Team and their coach. If they want to make their way up to the stage. This gymnastics team finished second at the NAIA National Championships and had 2 individuals finish in the top 10 all around. Robin Wheeler Filkowski, 89, finished second in the all around, winning a national title in the balance beam. Now, they said something about a routine. Coach, Leslie, you're going to coach them in their floor routine? Oh, yeah. All right. Tomorrow. Okay, we'll come back tomorrow. Come on up here. Yeah, all of you can come up on the stage. Maybe just stand over here. Robin was also 3rd in the floor and 4th in the vault. Renee Newman Rudolph. Robin, where are you? Okay, there's Robin. Okay, Renee Newman Rudolph, where are you at, Renee? All right, 88, finished 8th in the all-round, taking 2nd in the uneven parallel bars and 5th in the vault. Jody Thompson finished 7th in the vault and 8th in the bars. Nancy Ward Kramer, 88, captured 7th in the beam, and Stacy Aberle Ringen, class of 86, was 7th in the floor. Also competing for MSU that season was Lori Swanson Soltis, class of 88, and Judy Kralik Kuhn, class of 89. Okay. The team which defeated the NCAA Division I University of Minnesota twice during the regular season, was coached by the fabulous Gary Leslie, also an MSU alum. So let's hear it for the team and their coach.
So I guess, can y'all hear? So I guess I was nominated in the 11th hour. So I was just looking at Whitney, when you said 2:30, I think ours was 4:45. So, but it is definitely a collected effort from all these fabulous ladies behind me. So, sorry, and our coach. All right. So family, friends, fellow inductees, MSU dignitaries, and teammates. I'm truly honored and humbled to be here tonight, not only to be inducted into the MSU Hall of Fame, but also to be a part of this incredibly talented team of 1986, as you heard, all those great honors. My name is Nancy Ward Kramer, and it is a privilege to speak on behalf of our team. I'm not sure. I think it was not a privilege, but I'm going to say it in my speech. So I think it was more like a voluntold kind of thing. But anyway, it is a privilege to be here, and I would like to congratulate each of our inductees and your parents who have been here tonight, along with your families and and to honor our teammates. Okay, so they already introduced everybody, so just one more time, our fabulous teammates. And we would also like to thank our parents here. I know my mom is here, and I know several of these other parents are here. Marlene and Donna and the Aberles. Did I hit everybody? Okay. All right. So thank you all. Gymnastics is a sport that you had to start way young, and so our parents drove us all over the place for years and years and years and followed us all through college. It was always fun to go to any nationals where they were there supporting, and our moms would all get together. So thank you, parents. Throughout our time at MSU, there have been many people who positively influenced the gymnastics team, academically, athletically, and professionally. This is directly attributed to the outstanding faculty and staff here at Minot State University. And of course, one of the most influential people is our coach, Gary Leslie, who was the one that... He was the one that gave us the tools to be prepared both physically and mentally for competition and life. He ingrained into us to never accept being a second-class citizen, as he used to tell us. You girls are not second-class citizens. So ingrained in us that we were always supposed to dig deep and give everything that we had as a competitor, a student, and as a person. So we thank you, Coach Leslie. And those are a lot of his words. He used to tell us to dig deep all the time. So thinking back to nationals in 1986, we had not qualified for the best session. We had qualified for the early session, which typically happens where you get the low scores during the early session because they save those big scores for the second session. So as we went in there during the early session, we had a great team, and I guess we showed them because we came out and beat every one of the people in the second session except for the top team. So to come out second in that, we were quite excited. There's so many stories that we'd like to tell. Those of you who know Coach Leslie, he's got lots of isms, but we're going to just share a few. Coach would remind us of our goals all the time, would talk about where we needed to be in the season, which often included being in the best physical shape of our lives. And he would frequently remind us that it was not okay to go to the Bonanza and eat the salad bar there because there was way too much stuff, good stuff, on that salad bar. Like that would be the worst thing we could do, right? But in all honesty, he pushed us further than we sometimes believed that we were capable of. He was such a positive influence to each and every one of us on the team. One of our least favorite stories about being a gymnast at Minot State was when we were still practicing when the MSU Beaver basketball team would start their games. So we would still be up on the third floor while the game was going on down on the first floor. But we always stopped, practiced, said the national anthem, and then we continued on as the buzzers were going off and everything else. So that was maybe not one of our most fun times. But we were dedicated, and he pushed us to be the best we could. So, and by the way, our practice started at 3, and I believe those games started at 7. Right? 7:30, possibly, yes. Because I got really good brains behind me. All right. And just so you know, food was not a priority for Coach Leslie. And so on the day of competitions, we'd get up at about 7 in the morning. Oh, he's nervous now. We'd get up at 7 in the morning, and we'd have our piece of toast because you couldn't be full for competition. So we have our piece of toast, and we would be out competing in Wisconsin or somewhere like that. And we'd compete all day, think we're done, get in the van because we had to drive all the way back to North Dakota. And he'd say, I want to get through the Twin Cities before we eat. So it was about 9 maybe, and we got our second meal, maybe 10, who knows. But we finally got that second meal before we, finally fell asleep in the van. All right, so we will never forget all the memories and the bonds that I feel for each and every one of you ladies. It's been so good to catch up and see you all. Sorry, that was my Texas words. So it's an honor to be with each and every one of you, an honor to be here, be back in North Dakota because I don't live here. But I know that the bond that we have created as a team will last a lifetime. So thank you, MSU Hall of Fame Athletic Committee, and thank you to all these fabulous ladies.
When we have this, or when you have this 100th or whatever anniversary, don't mention my name, okay? I played football here about that time. It was a small football, I think, as I recall. And I played with Dale Brown, I think. So he'll attest to that. These young ladies worked extremely hard. I drove the bus. Okay? Thank you.
Here we go. Congratulations. So if you can, let's see, we want to take our picture. So if you can turn around.
Oh, I have to turn around?
Yeah, you have to. And then you might squish together maybe. All right, go for it.
Don't fall off, Robin.
All right, once again, thank you and congratulations. Don't forget, they're performing here tomorrow morning at what time? 7:30? Only toast for breakfast, right, Gary?
That's a matter of fact.
All right.
If I'm not here, you just carry on without me.
Okay, we will. All right. Our next award recipient is a special one. It's Dean Frantsvog, and he is receiving the Special Achievement Award. He's a Minot native and was an alumnus, professor, and longtime supporter of Minot State and MSU athletics. Frantsvog, along with his wife, Sarah, American Trust Center, United Community Bank, and Vibeto Orthodontics, contributed to the Dean Frantsvog Academic Success Center, opened in 2018 in the MSU Dome. Frantsvog helped review and advise the MSU Athletic Department on compliance and policy issues as he served as the department's first faculty athletic representative from 2010 to 2022. He was honored as the MSU Professor of the Year in 2018, the MSU Vision 2013 Merit Award, the MSU Board of Regents Faculty Achievement Award in 2012, and the MSU Golden Award for Young Alumni in 2011. As most of you know, Dean is no longer with us, but tonight we're going to welcome his best friend, Derek Trudell, to the stage to accept the award on Dean's behalf for his family and friends. Derek?
On behalf of Dean's family, Sarah Quaid Cambry, can you guys hear me? All right.
Dean would have fumbled with
There we
this
go.
too.
Congratulations to all the Hall of Fame recipients on your induction to the Minot State Athletic Hall of Fame. It's an incredible achievement, and Dean was honored to be recognized with all of you. But that doesn't mean Dean was happy. He had to get over being mad about his contributions to Minot State being publicly acknowledged. Dean preferred to keep his good deeds private. After Dean got over being mad about that, Then he was pissed because he thought Sarah was working with Rick and Steve to make this night happen. Grudgingly, Dean finally was convinced by Sarah that she had nothing to do with this plan. But then, after he got over being mad about that, then he was mad because he didn't want a sympathy induction. And I reminded Dean what he often told me. Not everyone that's in the Beaver Athletic Hall of Fame was a great athlete. And I'm confident that jab wasn't directed at any of the people in the class tonight. Dean loved a joke, and he loved ripping on his friends. I'm not exactly sure what Beaver Hall of Famer he was implying wasn't a great athlete. It was probably Rick Hedberg or Kevin Bull. But after he got over all of these things, Dean was very humbled, and he was sincerely appreciative of what Steve and Rick had done for him. From Sarah and the kids, thank you. It meant a lot to him. I got to keep close to this thing. We gather here tonight to honor and pay tribute to the influence Dean had on Minot State, the athletic department, and more importantly, the influence and impact he had on the student athletes here. The way Dean lived his life, he made a difference every day, and if you were fortunate enough to have known Dean, you knew that he was special. I've spent the last 25 years here at Minot State, involved with the college and the athletic department. Sorry about this. But during Dean's tenure, without a doubt, Dean was the unquestioned leader of Minot State. All universities share the same dynamics, a melting pot of eclectic personalities, departments with differing goals, agendas, and opinions, but Dean possessed a unique ability to bridge all of the gaps. Dean's intellectual prowess and his wisdom demanded the respect of his faculty peers. His personality and his charisma demanded the respect of the administration. Dean's athleticism demanded the respect of actually nobody. Not a soul. Dean wasn't athletic, but he was 6'5". And Dean's passion and knowledge of athletics earned him the respect of the athletic department. Dean was the greatest fan and supporter of all Minot State athletics. Every university and every athletic department in the country would be lucky to have a faculty athletic rep like Dean. Dean was the FAR. And I don't know if any of you know what the FAR does. Hell, I don't know what the FAR does. But I do know that it was important, because Dean would always tell me how important his job was. Dean told me the FAR's job was definitely more important than the head coach of all the programs. And it was comparable to the university president. The main difference Dean would always point out between the FAR and the president was Dr. Shirley got all the money and Dean got all the stress. But Dean didn't take his responsibilities as the FAR lightly. And there were a lot of sleepless nights, but not because of the tremendous amount of responsibility he shouldered, but because the athletic director and the FAR had to share a room when they traveled together. Dean had to share a room with Rick Hedberg. According to Dean, the entire Hedberg family must either be deaf or insomniacs, because nobody can sleep through Rick snoring. Now, Dean's good friend Christy has taken over as the FAR, and I know Dean would be very happy about that. Now, fortunately, Christy, Rick's no longer the AD. Thank God, yes. And Dean did say that was his rule. He said Rick liked to sleep with him. I don't know what that was about. And I don't know if the FAR still has to sleep with the AD or not. Dr. Shirley? If so, maybe you sleep like a baby, Kevin. If not, hopefully you have a CPAP machine. But I want to share 3 stories about Dean's leadership: his honesty, his integrity, his fairness, his compassion for others, and how anything Dean chose to endeavor benefited from having him. We all know that Dean loved Minot State Athletics, and he also had a passion for the Vikings. But his favorite thing was anything that his kids were doing. And he would tell me all the time he had the best life. Sarah loved sports, the kids loved sports. Dean could spend all day watching their sports. And he'd always tell me, don't complain about how much time you spend in the traveling, because it'll go by fast. But Dean wasn't just a spectator, he coached. And he coached Quaid on his Y football team. And I know Dean had a lot of intensity. I think a lot like probably Bill Belichick. And we've all witnessed the overzealous coach who lives vicariously through their son, that throws logic and caution to the wind and puts their son at quarterback when we all know he's destined to play football with his hand in the dirt. But not Dean. Not Dean. Dean was reasonable, maddeningly reasonable, and he was honest and fair. And the YMCA has a blue dot rule. If you weigh too much, you can't carry the ball. And Dean had Quaid play center. Now, the irony of that was that Quaid wasn't a blue dot. Quaid could have played anywhere. But Dean knew the best position for the team was Quaid at center. And his consolation to Quaid was that Quaid and the quarterback were the only two people who got to touch the ball. Great leaders make hard choices. And I know Quaid probably would have loved to play anything but center. But Dean knew to be great in life, you have to be willing to sacrifice for others. Now, the recruiting process for young student athletes is for the parents as much as it is for the student athletes. The coach is making a promise to the parents that choosing Minot State will make their child a better person. It'll prepare them for life. But what those parents and student athletes didn't know, by choosing Minot State, they were getting Dean in their lives. There's a cycle to all athletic careers that is as consistent as the sun coming up. College freshmen enter the first year with ambitions of goals and dreams and greatness of national championships. And some people are lucky enough to reach those dreams. But all college careers come to a close. And this is also consistent. At some point, you realize that success in the athletic arena is fleeting. But what is important is the relationships, the lessons learned of discipline, commitment, putting others and team first. These are all attributes that will help you develop the foundation of a life well lived. For all the student athletes that were fortunate enough to have made the wise choice to attend Minot State, they found a very unassuming man who would be one of the greatest leaders and inspirations in their life. All 6'5", not exactly athletically built, always dressed in his normal Dean attire, button shirt with a Minot State logo and khaki pants, and a size 14 pair of dad shoes on. Dean was not exactly a commanding presence. Nobody was going to mistake him for Nick Saban. But I am telling you, Dean's impact, the influence, and the life lessons these young men and women observed from Dean will resonate with them for the rest of their lives. Dean might not have been a better coach than Nick Saban. Maybe debatable. I don't know, Quaid. But I'm telling you, the way Dean treated people, he was special. Dean knew the power of kindness. Sarah shared a message with Brian and I about a student that she had that he hadn't shared this story and he hadn't planned on it, but now felt compelled to share it with Sarah. And we all know Dean. Dean was a self-proclaimed vault, so he wasn't going to share it. You could telephone, telegram, or tell Dean. He was like Paul Revere. If he had some information, he was telling everybody. But Dean had an exception to sharing the news. He never talked about himself, and he never wanted credit for all the good things that he did. So this young man was living out of his car up above the dome, and Dean saw him. Dean went over to check on him, make sure he was okay. The young man hadn't eaten for a while, so Dean took him out to eat, got him his first meal in a couple of weeks. Dean didn't stop there. Dean then took him down to meet with one of his friends who owned some apartments. Dean got his friend to waive the deposit and waive the first month's rent. Dean's kindness afforded this young man the opportunity to continue his education in nursing and to meet his favorite professor, who also inspired him to be great, Sarah Frantsvog. The kindness of Sarah and Dean made the difference in this young man's life. Great leaders are a constant. They possess an innate quality of understanding all circumstances and situations in life are an opportunity to lead. To make a positive difference in the world, great leaders know nothing is innocuous or too trivial. Now, my time's coming to a close, so I think it's appropriate I end with this last story of Dean. Is this yours, Christine? All right. You don't have COVID, right? Okay. When Dean was at his weakest, he physically couldn't stand. He was at one of his finest moments. His internal strength, his commitment, his determination, and unbreakable will were on full display, putting himself above others. Dean said cancer wasn't going to take away his dignity. He would endure. As Randy and I sat at his house, Dean had scheduled a call with Kelly Hendershot. Kelly was hired to take over for Dean's position in the College of Business. Dean was in pain. He knew his time was short, but this was quintessential Dean. Dean assured Kelly this call wasn't a burden to him. Dean told her he had all the time in the world. And Dean didn't miss the opportunity to make a couple of jokes at Randy and I's expense to ease the uncomfortable reality of the situation. Dean knew he didn't have all the time in the world. Yet Dean gave Kelly 15 minutes of his time. Ostensibly, the call was to familiarize Kelly with Dean's lesson plan. Dean didn't have lesson plans. For 15 minutes, Dean inspired Kelly. He told her how great she was going to be. He told her to be genuine. These are college students. They can read, or at least they should be able to at this point. Dean's favorite joke was to talk about the only difference between most college professors and the students was how the college professor has already read the book. Dean encouraged Kelly to share her real-world experiences with the students. They would gain far more from her real-life stories than they could get out of the textbook. For 15 minutes, Dean empowered Kelly. He never once spoke about himself. He didn't complain. And in those 15 minutes, Dean made Kelly better. In those 15 minutes, Dean made Minot State better. Because Dean gave 15 minutes, year after year, student after student will benefit from Dean's 15 minutes. Dean's secret to living a good life was exposed to Randy and I. Dean knew the greatest gift we can give someone is our time. Dean told me the most important lesson he learned battling cancer and knowing his time on this life was going to come to an end was to be present. If you want to be present if you want to make a difference in the world and you want to make a difference in people's lives, you have to be present. Dean will always be present. He empowered countless students with knowledge. He provided a lifetime of laughs. He provided us with friendship. He provided us with an example of a great husband, and he was the best dad in the business. The way Dean lived his life ensured he'll always be present with us. In fact, Dean's legacy is etched in stone at Minot State. And in classic Dean fashion, he made sure of that. And he got his friends to pay for it. His name's forever etched on the walls of the Dean Frantsvog Center in the Dome. And also, like Dean, he was right. You guys should have made the sign bigger. Thank you. No. Have the kids come up.
Thank you, Derek. Thank you to all of the award recipients tonight and your friends and family who could join you. Congratulations to all of the inductees. Let's have one more round of applause in your honor. Following this event, please consider attending the MSU Homecoming Family and Friends Reunion at the Original Bar. It started at 7 p.m. You'll be just in time. There's also a men's hockey game at the Mesa Pepsi Rink, and that starts at 7:30. Thank you all for attending, and congratulations. I wish you a safe weekend as you continue to enjoy all of the MSU Homecoming activities.